Hey, what's up guys? You're welcome to this Python video. In today's video series, we will be looking at Python data types. Okay. With that being said, let me quickly give you a brief and simple definition of what data types are. Now, data type in simple terms means the kind of data our program can work with. Okay. It means the type of data our Python program can handle, being it integers, floating point numbers, strings, and the rest of them. Okay. And then I would also like to draw your attention to the fact that Python as a programming language has vast support for numerous data type, and it is a strong dynamically typed language. Alright, don't mind the grammar. I'm actually going to break that down in a bit. Okay. Now, with that being said, let's quickly look at the various types of data we have in Python for the very basic. Okay, at first we have the integer, which has to do with whole numbers, either negative or positive, right? It doesn't have to be strictly positive or negative. As far as they don't have decimal places or floating point, they are considered as integer. Okay. Next, we have the floating point data type, which holds numbers with decimal places, right? Numbers that have decimals or floating points are referred to as float. And the third one here, we have the Boolean data type, which has to do with true or false, right? And can also be represented as 1 or 0, okay? Next on the list, we have the string data type, which holds characters enclosed in either single or double quote. Alright, that is one advantage of Python. Okay, you can use the single or the double quote for strings. And then next on the list, we have the list itself. List data type actually is a kind of sequence data type which can mimic the form of an array. Okay, it can hold different types of data like integers, strings, float, all at the same place. Okay, it can also hold Python specific data type like functions and the rest of them. Next, that is next to the last is tuple. Okay, the tuple is so much more like the list, but one distinct difference is while the list is mutable, that means its values can be changed along the line. Tuples value cannot be changed once they have been assigned. Alright, so they kind of have some kind of a constant nature which you don't get to change their value once you have assigned them. Okay, now last on our list is the dictionary. Oh, somebody might already be thinking, what dictionary? Is it the Oxford Dictionary or the Macmillan Dictionary? Dictionary in Python is a key value pair data type, alright, where we map a data to a key and we reference to that data using that key. Okay, so with that being said, let's quickly get into the Python environment and try out as much as possible example as we can. Okay, if you haven't subscribed to this channel, please do that. If you've learned something new from us, that will help us go a long way. Okay, you can also share the good news, share the link with friends and family, and then let's make learning Python fun. Alright, so let's get it done. Continuing from our previous video, which we talked about variables, constants, and identifier, today we're actually going to be moving to our data type. So let me quickly go and create a new file, Python file, and this will be video 3. Okay, now we should have our new file set up and ready to go. So the first on our list is the integer data type, right? Fine. Now we say a equal to 10. Okay, and then let's say b is equal to 20. Let's say print a plus plus b, right? And then let's get to run it and see. Now the other day I said once you create a new Python file, you will have to configure your PyCharm in order to be able to run the file. So let's go to run. Okay, then run here. Alright, or you can use the shortcut Control Alt Shift then F10. Alright, now when we click on the run, it should pop up. Then we are choosing video 3 to run. Fine. So we have our output here to be 30, right? Fine. That is A is 10, B is 20, A plus B, which means 20 plus 10 is equal to 30. Now let's confirm this. We say that Python can hold integers, right? And we have just seen it. So let's confirm the data type of these two variables to know. Alright, so let's say print. We have a very nice function in Python called type, alright, which allows you to check the type of any variable. Okay, so let's pass in A and then tell it to print the type for B again. So let's get to know what type of data we are working with. Okay, save it and then rerun. Now it says that A is of class int and B is of class int as well. Wow, excellent. So A and B are all integers because we are assigning integer values to them. Alright, now second on our list, we said Python can also handle floating point data. Alright, data with decimal places. Okay, let's quickly try that. Let's say C. Alright, C this time around. What should we give C? Let's say C is equal to 3.142, right? The value of pi. Then let's say D equal to what other floating point value should I use? Let's say 2, alright, 3.5. Now let's then go ahead and then let's say print type C. Okay, let's get to know the type of C, and then I think it should be nice if we add a description. The data type for C is, then we put a comma. Alright, not dot, actually it should be a comma. We can still go ahead and then add more and say the data type for D is let's quickly check that of D as well, and let's say type D. Okay, and then let's say actually it should be print the sum of C and D is, then we come and say C plus D. I've actually cited an error. This should be D actually, not B, right? Very good. Now we can go ahead and then let me quickly comment out this one. If someone is confused by what when I say comment out, it means the Python interpreter will not run this, right? We are actually going to get to comments later. So let me run this. It says this the data type for C is class float, and same thing for data type of D is still what? Float. Alright, so D and C are all floating point numbers, and therefore the data type is float. And then it said, oh, it should be there, not this. Well, you don't mind me, I'm actually not an Englishman, so you should expect some silly errors. Pardon me. Alright, the sum of C and D is 5 point, and then you have all your decimal places, right? Very, very good. Now, what other data types did we say Python can work with? Well, we said Python can work with strings, and we say strings are characters enclosing single or double quote, right? Fine, let's quickly try that. Okay, and let me quickly comment this out as well. We're actually going to come back to them, so there's no point deleting them. And let's say f equal to hello world, right? Then let's say print f, and then print another description, something like the data type. All right, the data type for f is then let's put f here. Okay, save it, and then let's rerun. It has print hello world, and then it says the data type of f is hello world because I didn't put type. Okay, that's actually very silly. And I remember I said the computer is the most dullest thing. It couldn't even think that I'm actually supposed to put type, and then it just went ahead and run it like that. Alright, so you make sure you're giving the computer the right instruction so that you get the right output, okay, without much stress and then suffering to debug some kind of silly errors. So it says now the data type for f is class string. Alright, so strings are enclosed in single or double quote. So let's confirm that. Let's say e, actually e is supposed to be before f. Let's say this is another string, but this time around it should be in double quote. Okay, so let's quickly see print the data type for e, which is our newly created variable, is this. So let's quickly put type, and then let's go ahead and add our e. Okay, so let's see, shift F10, run it. It says the data type for e is class string. Alright, so both the single and the double quote can be used for string data type. Not to worry, this is actually a very basic introduction to Python data types, right? More in-depth videos are coming on Python data types, all the methods available, and how you can efficiently use them. Okay, so this is a kind of a surface introduction, okay, so that you get to know the type of weapons, as in data types, you have in Python to deal with your problems. Alright, so let's get going. And we said we also have the Boolean data types, which has to do with true or false. Wow. Now let's say we have, let's say G. Mind you, these are actually variable names, right? G, E, F, C, D. Okay, and these ones are actually the literals, the values that are assigned to the variables. Don't mind me, this is actually a bad practice using just a single character for variable names. Okay, so let me quickly use something like Boolean type. Okay, Boolean type equal to true, and then let's say print this Boolean type, and then print that, let's add the description, the data type for Boolean is, then we say type, and then we call in the Boolean data type there. Okay, let me quickly comment out this to avoid distraction, and then let's quickly go ahead and run this. Now it has printed the value of the Boolean here, and then it says the data type for Boolean is what? Class bool. Okay, that is short for Boolean in Python. Alright, now this data type are used for checking logic. Okay, and they are most of the time used together with condition statement. Okay, we will get to that in just a moment. And we can also have false, and then let's quickly do same for false and see which type of data. Now it has print false, and it says the data type for boolean is still bool. Alright, now if you notice something, the true and the false are not enclosed in quotes. Once you enclose them in quotes, they are no more boolean. Okay, let's run this and see. Now it says it is of class string because we have enclosed it in quotation. Okay, so the boolean data type are not enclosed in quotation. Okay, they are just spelled. And then one more important thing to note is the first letter is capitalized. Okay, both the true and the false. All right, the first letter is capitalized. And then if you're using smart IDEs like PyCharm, Atom, and then the rest of them, they have syntax highlighting, okay, which tells you that this is a special kind of data type. Okay, fine. And then we also said we have our list. Okay, let me wipe this out, and then probably all of it, so that we get a fresh environment to play around with. Let me get this down a little. Now let me say my list. Okay, my list is equal to, now we use the square bracket when creating a list. Okay, and there are various ways of creating a list. Have that at the back of your mind. Like I said earlier, more videos are coming for in-depth use case of all these various data type. Okay, this is just a surface introduction to it. So we say we have 1, and the values are separated by a comma, 20, and then we have hello, and we can also have world, and we can also have another list inside another list. Okay, wow, this is really special. Hit enter and then tell Python to print my list, and then tell it to print the data type for my list is, okay, then tell it to print the type of my list. So quickly run that. Now we have our list 120 hello world 10 10, and then it says it is of class list. All right, now the same thing applies to the dictionary and the tuple. Okay, and for this video we're actually going to be hanging on here. Look forward to more video coming on data types. Right, I hope we're gonna have fun in this video series. Stay tuned to more videos coming. Do well to subscribe to this channel and turn on your notification so that you can follow along with all other upcoming videos. Okay, thank you for watching and stay tuned.